All right, start recording. All right, so this will be our last class in series one. Originally, I didn't expect this much enthusiasm and response from you guys. So I'm encouraged to continue since we have not finished our historical survey yet. The next session, I will focus more on the late imperial China, namely Ming and Qing dynasties, up till the 1949, I think, the Communist Revolution. So we'll cover the Republic China from 1911 to 49. Many masters in PRC, People's Republic, are from the Republic China. Like my own teacher, Fu Baoshi, they're trained in the old tradition. So if you are going to continue, I'll be very happy. Any questions? If you sign up for the next session, do we have to sign up for online site? Okay, it will be, that's a good question. I try to be fair with those who pay for the online class. So I tend to give you one trial period. So if you are continue, I will say, you can sign up for, you have to, it's optional, but I will say, let's just say you have to continue with the payment. If if it's for any reason there's difficulty, we can talk in person privately, okay? But generally speaking, the two classes are separated, But it's an option to sign up for online, for after class critique, because I do spend more time after the class. And before the class, you have the privilege to preview my lecture notes. So I know many of you didn't sign up for online class or didn't use that. That's just an option. Yes, I think you have to pay if you already got a free trial. For those who didn't, I can offer you a free trial just to see how it works with the regular online class. For those who did not, join the first class, you can see all the recordings and all the discussions in the online class. So it's really a supplement teaching tool, I think. But life is very different, Just like you watch sports, life is always exciting and unpredictable. So I hope you continue to enjoy the live class, and for those who cannot continue, to continue with the online class. Or catch me up, online. So this class will talk about the Japanese landscape painting under the influence of the Chinese painting. So we're talking about the period in the Ming Dynasty in China. A diplomat mission sent from Japan arrived in 1467. One of the members is a monk, Buddhist monk named Sesshu. Any of you have heard? Let me type it. Oh, I don't have keyboard. Let me just spell it. Oops, I think it's double S for some reason. Double S, Sesshu. In Chinese, his name is Xue. I think it's a Buddhist Dharma name. He became a Buddhist monk at the age of 12. And he visited China in 1467 and stayed for 2 years until 1469. He was 70, I'm sorry, he was 47. So it's about his mid-age. He was already trained in the painting with some teachers in Japan. But this trip to southern China, if you look at the map on my lower left, let me enlarge that, see if I can do that. Oops, here. Yeah, this map is not meant to be his trip. It is another very important map for Japanese in Japanese history, which is the Mongol invasion of a failed attempt to conquer Japan in 1273 and 1281. So if we turn the clock back to the end of Southern Song Dynasty, which was conquered by Yuan Mongol dynasty in 1279, and they also conquered Korea in 1258 and sent battleships to conquer Japan, where they met resistance of the samurais. And after one battle, only one day battle, the second day, they were hit by a tornado we call typhoon. In Japanese, it's called kamikaze. Do you know this term? Kamikaze is well known in the World War II. The suicidal Japanese jet fighters, they call it the kamikaze. It means divine wind. Let me see. My mouse just frozen. Okay, yeah, this is a Japanese print depicting the kamikaze. I think they're, okay, this is Sesshu's portrait. Yeah, here's a modern painting, maybe digital painting of that battle. And this is famous, right? This is the kamikaze sinking the fleet of Mongols. Big wave. Okay, so this event is very important that made the continuation of Japanese culture. The Japanese royal lineage could be traced back to maybe the 2nd century, if my memory serves me, unbroken, because they never conquered by a foreign force in their history. So in Japan, they preserved many treasures from China back in the Tang Dynasty and the Southern Song Dynasty academy painters Ma Yuan, Xia Gui, and Mo Xi and Yi Jian. These 4 masters considered the 4 masters in Southern Song Dynasty by the Japanese, their favorite is Ma Yuan, Xia Gui, Yi Jian, and Mo Xi. So they are preserved in the I think the elite. Okay, Japanese idiom. So Sesshu was well trained in that tradition of Southern song. And he had chance when he had chance to visit China. China was restored by the Ming Dynasty. The Chinese restored the Chinese dynasty, and the painting academy was restored also. And they tried to restore the Southern song tradition. So when Sesshu arrived in Ningbo, this is the on the lower corner. This is very close to Shanghai, across the bay. So Shanghai has a large population of Ningbo-nese. They are merchants also. And he stayed in the monastery in Ningbo. I was there for like several months during my archaeology field work. And my biggest impression is the chanting sound of the monks and nuns. I visit different monasteries, and I very just this morning I started to chant that song I heard. Namo Amidavo, something like that. They would keep chanting and chanting and chanting. So the Buddhist painting monk would repeat same theme, like Bodhidharma's portrait or this landscape. Why they chant? I think why they meditate or chant. So here are some paintings from collections of various museums in US and Japan. This section is what they call the Hypoc, but Hypoc means Hypoc. In Chinese, it's Po Mo, I think. I'm not sure if it's Po Mo or Po Mo. This means broken ink, but sometimes they also called Po. How do you say Po? I forgot. Po Mo, yeah. Splash ink. Anyway, I forgot how to write the traditional Chinese here. Splash ink or broken ink. So I'll use the broken ink. Probably that's the pronunciation of this character. Okay. In Japan, they call it Hypoc. This is the technique. I think we learned this from Yijian, the Zen painting class. So basically, you separate the ink with different tones, and then you can break the dark with light. That's a breaking ink. You can also break ink with the dry and the dark on light wet. So either way, it's broken. Hypoc. This means, okay. So the technique is very simple, but you have to repeat just like chanting. If you will, just chant with me when I paint. I probably will do that. It keeps my memory back to the Ningbo temples. And here is a quote from Lao Tzu. In the pursuit of learning, knowledge is increased daily. In the pursuit of Tao, the way, action are reduced until the state of non-action has been achieved. And we have a similar idea by a Western scientist and doctor, a philosopher. Knowledge is a process of piling up facts. Wisdom lies in their simplification. So Tao and Zen are kind of wisdom to deduction of deduction, to not minimalism, but the less is more. That's the idea. So I just want to show you before this masterpiece, and what kind of work he has done. First, you can see different attempts. Maybe these are survivals of hundreds of thousands of attempts. So don't try to get it done in one attempt. This is the battle with the Mongols. So these are details of the Hypoc. From this detailed picture, I took from Professor James, the late Professor James Kakil's lectures. He has good slides from his personal camera, I think. You can see how exactly this works. So we'll probably do this part first. Let's do that, okay, while we talk. The paper I'm going to use is semi-sized, Xuan, semi-sized paper from the student pack. If you got it, or you bought separately, semi-sized. I always try different paper. It doesn't matter. If you don't have it, use Mulberry #1 or #2 are both okay. And you can also use unsized Xuan. That's the only paper you have. And sized also works. So it doesn't matter what kind of paper, okay? First of all, I want you to cut the paper into this size, which is half of the 13 by 18 sheets. Normally we cut it into 6 of the 4 sheets, right? Then this is 1/12 of the 1/12 of the sheet, okay? 1/12 of the sheet is about 6, I think. I don't know. 13 by 9. Let's assume that's about the size, this size. So and roughly, I want to. You can just measure with your eye. The half, where the half line is. So if you look at this picture compositionally, you'll see the emptiness of most part on top. It's empty. Where's that original? Anyway, so there's a lot of empty space on top. This is what we call the 下半边, right? The half sheet 下柜. And also we have the corner idea. So in this case, which corner is painted? Yeah, the left corner. You see the diagonal from right to about the middle of the painting. Yeah, you just paint, but along this, within this corner, you paint mostly along the diagonal line. So there's also the gravity in the middle. So it's concentrated in the middle and the right, void on the left, actually. So if we draw a vertical line, this little village or inn probably hotel. It's on the right side, right? Okay, so let's do that first. I will use a detail brush, maybe not detail brush, the basic stiff brush will do. Not the small one, you know, just okay, let's do this one first. This location is about 3 inches, between 3 and 4 maybe. I don't know. 3, yeah, 3 inches. It's pretty low, and that gives room for the cliff. So there's a cliff above that. All right, so you want to keep this right on this corner. So if we fold the paper, it will be under the half of the, so under the quarter, the first quarter. This is this area. It don't have to be precise. So that's the idea. So let's do this first. Use the tip concealed stroke, or the, let me zoom in. Okay. So pretty close, but not to the middle point. It's the, if you look at this is a this quarter maybe. It's probably the golden rule place, you know, not the edge, not this side, not in the middle of this, but here. So I would draw this stroke like this. Remember we did this in the first class, right? And then a horizontal one represents the roof. That's my in, and then I do another triangle and a roof to the right. That's the 2 houses. And then I draw this fence. There's a flag with a Japanese, what do you call this little swirling fish thing? I think that's what it is. It's not like a Chinese sign, something like that. It's flowing in the wind. But you know, the key is you don't want to repeat. If you make a mistake, don't change it. Don't change it. 3 strokes on the right side. There's some dots. It's okay. Just you know, don't have to be dot by dot. And I leave a little gate opening. And then this stroke I considered as a nail head stroke. So we have a relatively nail head. You can also end the stroke in the end like a teardrop. So starting from nail head to teardrop, that's probably what it is. And then just circle the surround the house with a little hint of you know, just fill in the gap somehow with a little hint of the other side. The right side, we only see 2 dots indicate the top of the pole or the fence, wood, whatever. So this is my focal point. Probably it's too big. I want to show you you proportionally. It doesn't matter. This is our first attempt. So it may not work as a whole. Okay. Let me see. I can keep using this brush, but I have to wash it. So I saved it. That's for my dark. Now I will use another brush. Let me see which one works. We can just use this combination brush, or you can use the soft brush if you want. If you have let me use this one, 傅报师 landscape brush. by the way, Fu Baoshi is a student. When he was young, he was trained in Japan as a visiting student before the war, for Second World War. So he was the first person introduced scholar introduced Sesshu into China in the 50s when Sesshu received a recognition of one of 10 icons, cultural icons by World Cultural. I don't know if it's a UN or some cultural event institution. So he was recognized, and then Fu Baoshi wrote a very long article introducing the artist, which is unknown even today in China. Okay, so this kind of stroke is the rock, you know, like a triangle shape. That's kind of you don't have to draw a complete triangle, but that's the kind of stroke we learned. If you like, you can use this. I think the convenient ink cake works best for controlling the. So I'm using a medium grade ink to do the next part of it. Let's see, this. So starting from this, roughly about half of the page, you can draw a what they call this shape, rectangular with corners here. This reminds us the X cut, right? X cut stroke, and yeah, just kind of like that. So my brush is partially loaded. It becomes lighter and lighter. As it getting light, I just proceed to the light part. And then I add water to the tip of the brush. That gives me a soft edge. You see this stroke, I just touch a little water. So my tip is soft, right? That's the trick of it, right? And don't fill in all the blanks, just something like that. So there's some water there. All right, and you can add a little more to draw this to, I think these are probably done by, you know, at the same time as you did the rock. Just 2 strokes for the water. And this water goes all the way to the right. So notice that diagonal thing, diagonal composition. Now I fill in the blank between just, okay, my in is located now more on the shore rather than on the cliff. That's okay. I think that's the idea. So let's just add some trees surrounding there. You don't have to copy exactly the ink. Most importantly, the stroke. Yeah. So I'm going to start breaking ink. Actually, there very little overlapping because he doesn't want too much bleeding. Maybe there's some bleeding there. I'm going to do so some tree leaves and start to break in. The reason I use this ink rather than this newly ground ink is because this ink actually tends to hold better with, you know, more what do you call this, pastel particles. It's like overnight ink. It holds better on the wet. So just draw this tree trunk in straight position, but he used probably very, less like this broken brush. Okay, so little suggestion of branches on top. This is, so yeah, I forgot chanting. When he does this, his mind is not there. He's chanting the Buddha's name. Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha. That's what he does, I think. If you chant 10,000 times, according to a popular Buddhism sect, you will see Buddha. Okay, I should do some clean water to prepare this. And then we use, I'll clean this brush. This is too dark. Anyway, I'll just use this water brush, how's that? So we just use a little ink, dilute it. You can use a softer brush, the bigger the better. So this is how I do it. Let me see. So this is just water, all right? We learned this in Xia Gui's class, right? Yeah, this one. Okay. And in the hard edge is on the right side, right, on top also. So we could start from the left, and my brush has a gradation also. So I kind of hold the brush this slant position. Oh, I got some leftover color from yesterday class. This brush is not washed. We have to color it then. You have to live with the Zen. It is, it's all has to do with the moment. So just I got some leftover color there. Don't try to add color. This is just a mistake. Happy one, I hope. And since I got that, let's see. I wish we got some other colors. Anyway, this one goes even lighter. So add more water and just smaller also. This is what we call this needle mountain in Xia Gui's class, right? It's yeah, he copied the Li Tang. Several copies of Li Tang survived by Sesshu. Li Tang's needle. Okay. We'll just add some tones to this. So what? Okay, then I have to fill in this. And here. Okay, that's it. That's my first attempt. I want to maybe repeat, make several attempts at least. So let's change a different paper, and I'll do. This time we try to do it from memory. Maybe not this time for you, but I will. So let me turn off this. You can use your reference on your own computer. Let's see. Okay, now you don't see my reference. I try to paint from memory. Okay. And sometimes I flip the composition just to, and this time let me try to follow the original sequence. Maybe he did the middle rock first with a medium grade. You cannot see my palette. Okay, you can see, right? So with a relatively dry brush with medium grade. Okay, let me choose this. Yeah, it's a little bit. This is a medium. Okay, good. And just draw several X-cut strokes with angular. Yeah, if you're not sure, you can start from somewhere. It will be covered with trees and make sure this is dry. This rock cliff is dry, and then end that cliff with a rock there, and then that's the bank. And just measure the heights about there, and then do a cliff. Not cliff, the base for the hotel, the inn, and add a little more ink to the foreground. So see, this is darker, yeah. And I draw a triangular shape, and then another one behind. That's about it. And then draw this, I think there's two horizontal, but not exactly horizontal strokes with a pouring like this. And then add water to finish this. Add water to give some shading right away before this gets dry. See, everything is done before it gets dry. Maybe he did it in 5 minutes. We can add a little rock. It's all, this forced me to look at my own painting rather than to copy the strokes. If I missed anything next time, I will correct that, but not this time. Let me just use the same brush. This is Fu Bao Shi's landscape brush with mixed hair, mountain horse, and goat. So I use the dark ink from I can just use my grind ink here to save time. So this one is the darkest. I start from here. Remember how to draw this this triangular, but not symmetrical. And the line like that. Okay, maybe I forgot the exact detail. I don't have to. Just impression of that. Okay, nail head strokes and teardrop also possible. You can have the opening anywhere where you feel comfortable with your painting. It's your painting, okay. And then just pull with this flying carp or something like that. I don't know what's the name of it. And yeah, on this painting, I forgot. Actually, let me go back to this one. Remember this little boat on this side. There are two persons greeting each other, maybe a new arrival, and or they're just chatting. Just like two characters, 人, people. It almost off the page. That's the eye stopper. Very smart. Okay, now I continue with the Hypoc technique. I use this overnight ink, very heavy body ink. You know, just maybe 5, 3, and then just, oops, too dark, too dry. But you have to go slow instead of reloading. And just use the same brush, some dots on top, some broken ink, and you can do some lighter ink. Supposedly, I only load a little ink to getting lighter. As the ink getting lighter, goes to this side and 3 trees, minor group. So this is darker than this. And it's very suggestive. See the light, the light ink in between. So you got a variation of light, dark, dry, wet, all in the one painting. That's make it so versatile and pleasing to the eyes. You know. So it's an imaginary landscape, not has to do with the real scenery, mind landscape. So use a large brush, just draw some water, put some water right above this rock, and then use very light, very light. Remember I said Zen painting is not between resemblance and dissemblance, or like or dislike the real. It's between existence or non-existence, being or non-being in Taoism. Yeah, just feel free to deviate from the original, because I'm not even looking at it. I just paint my own with the inspiration of the master. So the type of stroke indicates different objects, like the fence is one kind of stroke, the building is and the tree, that's a kind of conventional norm, you know, that kind of like vocabulary of the landscape, so people can interpret that, understand that what are you doing. So that's very crucial to keep that kind of. So this this artist, even from this very simple so-called spontaneous, it's well-trained spontaneity, that. So he has a classical training. I will prove that in a moment when I finish this. That what kind of painting he normally do. This is just the ink play, just occasional. Maybe, but since you have seen so many attempts, he probably does this on regular basis, just like chanting. Okay, look at some variations like this. Basically the same idea. Big stroke, simplified. Japanese tend to like the Southern school because Southern school professional academic artists have rules, like how to do a rock, just like we learned. This is not just a amateur style. It's very academic, It just more abstract. See, this is stroke here is what we basically learned in the 3 dimensions of a rock, right? Remember that kind of, and this piece. Okay, since I got dark, I just want to spend the ink on this border. As I get lighter, I will do the stroke. As I mentioned earlier, the ink does not matter. The stroke is more important. And it could be lighter, could be darker. If you don't like the darkness, you just you can blot it, right? This is semi-sized. This is not easy to take it up. If it's sized, it will be blot. You can blot it off very easily. So to copy someone's subconscious paintings, like a signature, it's very, very difficult. So don't try to copy exactly. Maybe you have to understand the principle, which is the triangle. Yeah, just try the. Okay, so I just keep. Now I'm doing the the right side with the dry brush. I just added water, diluted, without using even a palette. Just make the brush dry, and this is almost like a modern contemporary style of fubaoshi. But you can see the I didn't show you the painting I'm using here. Okay, see this group of leaves, almost like the jade, the 4 leaves of jade. Yeah, and then you just add a little dark to break that. Carefree, but you have muscle memory provided through training. So you become spontaneous with muscle memory, but not really exactly untrained. So this building is very classical. Okay, and then this sailing boat. Mustards. Yeah, I can see the separation of.
Hi, Henry.
Yes.
There are folks that aren't unable to get on. Do you think you could resend that link to the Zoom?
Okay. Okay, so for this version, oops. Yeah, just the horizontal. Let me enlarge that boat. Yeah, he likes a kind of flat brush stroke. Use the narrow side of the flash brush stroke, just like that. Yeah. So it's calligraphic. Yeah. Okay. That's a semi-sized. Let's see. I did this one on the mulberry paper. You can see this is mulberry paper #1, and this is semi-sized. Let me use unsized paper next. Size. Size. I think I marked it wrong. I confused myself. Law says I have to tell it from touching. Yeah, I think this one is unsized. Let me see. You can always, adjust to the. This is unsized paper. You see that's very different, right? So dry brush on the rock to begin with. Oh, you mean the people cannot connect? I sorry, I thought it was unmute. Where? Can you send the invitation to the class?
Henry, I had trouble getting on too, but I just rebooted my iPad and then I was able to get on. That might help.
Okay, it's not because you don't have the link. It's something different. So you all have the link, right?
No, she needs the link because
Okay,
in
yeah,
the
that's what I thought.
last email it didn't have a link.
Yeah, they rely on the invitation. I forgot that. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, it's the same link from last week. Yeah. Okay, just keep practicing yours while I'm doing this. It will take me 1 minute to finish. Let me see. I got 40 people in this class, so I have to send 3 times. When, yeah. So. Okay. Okay, I think I just sent double time to make sure they do it. Okay. Check the email. Can't use old link. Okay. What's the difference? It's the same link. Let me see. All right. I hope they can get it. All right. So let's continue with this. Just add some more of this angular shape and some triangles on the bottom with a little darker tone, maybe. I try not to break too much the brush because it would show some shortcomings of Zen. That's not really the key point. The key point is the spontaneity of it, not to make it broken. Okay, so let's add some trees there. Mute you guys.
No, it's okay. I felt like I have to finish that with my
Do I need to keep you unmuted? If you have any questions, just type in. So I'll keep you unmuted for now. Okay, now I'm going to add darks starting from this sign. Okay. Just 5 is enough. And that's my choose. I tried to keep my brush not to split actually. It's easy to get it split, but not easy to keep it rounded while you do this. I try not to wash the brush too often, so it will shows like one stroke painting. And if I use this only one brush, I will do this. I just dry the brush with paper towel. Let's see. To use this one. Okay, and then especially the front, I use water and start washing like that. So it will give me soft edge on the tip. It's a little easier. Okay, and this is, since I forgot about the half page rule, this is too high. Very common mistake. It went to over half. Here's the dividing line. So I have to reduce the height of the distant mounted, but I can make it more faded maybe to create a distant. Okay, let's see. This is a little tricky because my tip is water, so I cannot get the hard line I need. So I just have to draw with bottom of the brush. My brush tip is water. That's a little tricky. So I draw with the heel, the middle of the brush for this, if I want ink. So you have to know your brush. Feel it, feel the tip, feel the heel. Okay, so this is a unsized paper. Let me unmute yourself. I used the 3 papers so far, the mulberry paper, the semi-sized paper, And okay, I got some color on this one, so let me just add a little more. Cool. Okay, let's just add a little more color to it. See what happens. I got umber. Just added some color on the ink. So I waited the ink almost dry, so it will not bleed. It's kind of the trick is even when the paper is wet, even it's just water, it makes the paper looks like a dark. Your experience will tell if it's water. You can hold the paper against the light, and you will see better what's the actual value it is. If it's water, it will become transparent, no value at all. If it's there's some, just hold the paper against the light, you'll see the true value before it gets dry. That's what I do. Okay, just add a little more to the front. Rock. So even, when I paint with color, I try to do it the same kind of stroke as the calligraphy, line. So you don't have to. You don't have to fuss with it, like a back and forth. It's just direct. Get it done in one stroke. It will become lighter, I hope. That's just because I got stains in my brush. Turn it into a color molecule in the ink painting. Okay, this is the unsized paper. Let me see how it's going. Let me see yours, if any of you got something to show. You can also upload to the online class so we can get a high resolution copy. Okay, good. Ping Huang, okay. Yeah, your composition needs to be, yeah, I think you're probably repeating my error. So let's do that one more time, just to make sure we have enough empty space. So just fold the paper into half, okay? And try to paint everything other than the remote mountain on the lower half. And then you divide this lower half, maybe you fold the line like this, okay? Fold the line like this, diagonal from the lower right to whatever. That's your reference line. And you might have to fold vertical half. That gives you even better idea. Okay, so some area you want to avoid is the middle and this line. Don't put anything on this line right away, like the house, things like that should be off the center line and stay with the diagonal line. Maybe somewhere here is the building, and the cliff is a little above. Let me show you the original again. Okay, let me see. Where is that? Here's another version on the fan. By the way, this painting is a copy of Xuezhou. If you read Chinese, Sesshu, which is on this fan, inside the fan. And on the corner, he wrote Yi Jian. Yi Jian is the monk who did the mountain market after rain, with a famous monk in southern Song. So this is a proof that the painting we're doing actually is what he have studied in China. So he had many fan face like this after Sha Gui or mimic Li Tang. I'll show you later. Okay. And here's another. Let's see. Let's concentrate on the masterpiece. This is the target that we try to learn most. So let's start from about lower than a half and draw a shape like this. And then you can repeat. If one is not enough, you can repeat it somehow. Don't exactly. If you already got enough, you don't have to do the second time. Okay. And then something above on the right side, and some 3 dots on top randomly. That's it. And continue to the lower part of this. You can add a stroke if not enough.
Henry, we can't see you.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, I forgot to turn my, sorry about that. Let me repeat this. So I folded my paper in half. So I know the upper and the lower half. And then I folded the paper this way. I know the center line. And then I folded the paper this way. So that gave me the corner reference, the corner, dividing line of the corner. So my main objects will be focused on, will be along this line. Okay, so yeah, just feel free, make some 3 triangles here at the bottom, and then 2 horizontal lines, 1 long, 1 short. Okay, and you can take all the way to the margin. It's okay. So that's diagonal, and then I use this side brush to draw the base, the small cliff, if you will, the just above the shot, the bank. Okay, and you can just take it all the way to the. But he used the light ink, but you don't have to copy exactly, because that's something you can't do it. The stroke you can copy, not copy, type to learn the stroke, but not exactly the ink, doesn't matter. So pay more attention on the stroke. So you can just draw some hint of trees or rocks there with the dry brush, and then some horizontal lines on the bottom to indicate the water level. Okay, so they're dry and wet in this painting, very important. So here's the tip. I use, this brush is now very dry, okay? And if not dry, you can use a paper towel to dry it. And then I use a dip in the water, so it's only water. See, I start water, and I use the heel of the brush, still have remaining ink in it to draw, to drag, to break the dry ink a little bit. Don't have to fill in, leave some bits of dry strokes, not wash completely. So it's like that. So my brush tip is soft. This is why I call it reverse gradation. And that will create a soft brush strokes. Most commonly, people tend to use dark on the tip all the time, which is not, sometimes you need that, okay? Sometimes you need that. You load the brush always, with dark on the tip. But when you draw this kind of mist, you will have stroke marks. That's not wanted. So you put water in the front to avoid that, okay? So the next, I will use a clean brush, just hopefully this time it's clean, to draw this water, okay. And then I continue with this brush this way, just pushing the brush, and while I form the contour of the peak. Try to keep the brush rounded, not split too much. Okay, so that's my distant mountain. It's between being and non-being, right? Okay, now just a very, very light for the needle mount. This is still too large. I hope not. Okay, but this is water, so it will not. This part is water. Right now, I use the dark over into wet, dry and dark. You can use some ink. I just grind it with this heavy body overnight ink or ink cake. This will prevent it from bleeding too much. Okay. The branches and some leaves. Broken ink means wet into wet. Hypoc. Okay. Then this part should be lighter. Let me mute. Okay. Dark brick light or light brick dark, either way. Yes, good question, Daisy. But in this case, I think it's here is definitely dark on light. You can see from detailed view, right? Some part I really don't know. I think maybe this part, like this fence part, you can do it at the beginning, So this is very structured. Okay. Let's see. And here's a small one. Okay. Okay. Then, a common mistake I've seen in your work is that you tend to load the brush with both light and dark and try to get that done in one stroke. That's correct with contemporary art, but not with Southern Song Dynasty paintings like Xia Gui. And here I think, yeah, you separate the two. If you don't separate, there's no point of breaking ink. Yeah, they break on the brush already, not on the paper. You want the ink to be broken on the paper, so you can put the dark and then they break it with light. Yeah, you can do that. To break it with light. Okay, and because he has a when he did it, the sequence is more natural. So sometimes I have to make it up because I didn't know when he did this stroke. Maybe he did it at the same time as the cliff. So when I go back, I have to kind of make up some to match the tones or the dryness. That becomes deliberate, which is against the spontaneity of Zen, because Zen think everything is naturally beautiful. Everybody has Buddha heart. Just just let it go. Let it go. Yeah. Don't hold anything. Don't try to.
Henry, your voice is breaking up.
Okay. Let me mute you guys, see if that helps. Okay. Now I would like to share with you another folder, maybe with more of Sesshu's work that you can learn, because this kind of painting not supposed to be taught in the class, because it's really a result of years of training in the ruled principles of regular, classical academic painting. So let me share with you what he did. Okay, let me see. I just opened his most famous style and his copies. Let me share the screen with you. I'm not going to paint for the next maybe 10 minutes. You can keep painting yours. Okay. Here is the famous winter landscape of Sesshu. You can recognize the Fupi, the X-cut strokes from the Southern Song. He lives in the 15th century, right? It's about 300 years after Li Tang and Ma Yuan. He kind of developed his own style, a little bit different. I think he used more like vertical and horizontal, not vertical, horizontal, it's the kind of abstract contour with that's his portrait. He is also good at figure painting. This is herb god, Shen Nong, testing the herbs. And this is a Taoist after Liang Kai. Liang Kai is the simply kind of Zen painter painting the figures. And this again, he signed his work on in the fan, and the artists who painting after on the side. Liang Kai is the Southern Song Dynasty figure painting. Okay, this painting you can see has much to do with what we did today, right? So if you could do this, it will certainly make it easier, to do the splashed ink or hypoc broken ink. So this is a trained artist, certainly. And this is Ma Yuan. Remember Ma Yuan? The pines we learned in our class. So this lesson, actually, today is a big review of what you have learned. And I try to make a point here. Before Sesshu went to China in 1467, he was probably a second-grade artist in his own country. After 2 years, he visited Beijing also. He traveled along the Grand Canal all the way to see all the landscape and met artists. Not the top artists, unfortunately. He met some friends. His interpreter is also a poet. So he became a first-grade artist after his return. He lived 70 till 87, 47 through 87. So 40 years. So in the last 40 years, he developed his own style, the Japanese style. And this is very literati style. Remember the hemp kind of stroke for the rocks, earthen hills, and this kind of dots. But still, a mixture of the academic work. Oh, someone cannot hear my voice? Should I raise my voice? Is that okay now? Let me change the microphone. Hold on. Okay, I have comments that people cannot hear me correctly, so I'll change a different microphone. See, can you hear me better now? Better? Okay, let's continue.
Much better.
Okay, maybe, yeah, that's because of the microphone. Okay, I remember this. I just mentioned he was a second-grade master before he visited China, but after the visit, he met a top artist in the court in Beijing, and changed the paintings, learned splash ink from them. He wrote two names in one of his commentary on a painting. One is Li Zai, a court painter who does the Southern Song style landscape. He taught him how to do the color, apply color. I didn't see his color. Oh, we'll see that. And the splash ink technique we learned today. This is a painting after Liang Kai, the figure painter in Southern Song. You can see his signature inside the fan, and the artist he mimicked outside. So he became a first-grade artist after the visit. It's comparable to Van Gogh. If he never went to Paris, he will never become a first-grade artist, right? And also Fu Baoshi, if he didn't went to Japan, he didn't even know if Sesshu exists. So he wrote an article in the 50s, introduced him to the Chinese art circle. After Sesshu was already recognized by the World Cultural Organization as one of the top 10 icons in human art history. Yeah, Sesshu become not only an icon, a cultural icon for Japanese, but also for all mankind. Anyway, so he learned Ma Yuan, you can see these are all after Southern Song Dynasty. You know, he didn't really look up anybody he met in China as a master, but so he copied the originals he encountered in China from the early dynasties, not the Ming dynasties. Then he developed this kind of style of his own after. See, this is very literati style, again, but with his interpretation. He is one of the, probably the only artist in top grade Japanese painters who have actually visited visited China. So other people learn after him or paint the 8 scenes of Xiaoxiang or the temples in China or whatever. From imagination. So he is the only person which really makes difference. So people in China says, read 1,000 books and travel 1,000 miles, which really makes your eye open and mind open. This is another Sesshu style, the Ma Yuan or the southern Yitang style X-cut landscape and the Yitang style landscape. You can see he goes pretty restrictive on the rules. The mountains in the back, outlying mountains, and you have learned how to do this Southern Dynasty leaf foliages, right? Sesshu does that here. So I was debating with myself before the class, should we do what he did classic training first before we do the splash? But I decided to go for it because many of you think that's easier without having to copy these classics like Sesshu did. Fu Baoshi did the same thing. Fu Baoshi copied many artists, including this artist, and Shi Tao and the late imperial master, and Zhang Daqian the same. So if you can copy, you can. If you cannot copy, you cannot really create your own style. Period. I will copy more in the next class. I would just like we do today. We will copy first, and then we, if we have time, we'll look at some more. And what I like to do is when I paint that masterpiece, I look at all his background knowledge, like how he accumulated that knowledge, and then see how his wisdom simplified that. So it's really easy to get lost in the accumulation of knowledge and to be enslaved by tradition. Like this long scroll, it's comparable to the clear and remote vision of streams and mountains. It's a very long scroll. It's called 4 Seasons. Fu Baoshi has seen that, and in his article, he has long paragraph describe how he will in mastering the Chinese techniques, but in the Japanese aesthetics preference and cultural characteristics or something like that. So developed a Japanese style interpretation of this landscape. This is the same scroll. It's called the 4 Seasons. That remind us of Xia Gui's, right? Yeah. So this is what we do. This is a copy of Yi Jian. So this line of work was after the Yi Jian. I think Yi Jian lived in the same area where he stayed in Zhejiang province. So he probably see the original. That's definitely a copy, like a fan face. Okay. And this is a painting. I think that we can. It's very encouraging, right? It looks like one of yours. Probably a practice, but you can see, he doesn't want to repeat or modify. If you can see very clearly the strokes, abstract strokes, right? This is on unsized paper, I think. So every stroke counts. It's emphasized on the detachment of mind with some. That means you don't really fuss. You don't try hard. If you try hard, you'll never get this. Yeah, for some people will say, "Oh, this is a bad stroke." So the Chinese academic, not academic, the literati may not like this because this looks very amateurish, but they are amateurish. So anyway, I don't know how to compare this to the. I think I mentioned the last time the literati painting is more emphasized on the mindfulness, the carefulness of spontaneity. This is more like spontaneous carefulness. It's hard to understand. Could you also indicate what practice we might do also to work on classical skills? Just to copy this, can you do this triangle? I taught you the first class. Nobody have tried this. I totally disappointed. This is the most important practice. Nobody in my class think it's important. They start to copy anything. Is this the first stroke I showed you? Right here. Can you do
Henry,
this?
we cannot see you.
Okay.
What triangle? Can you show us what triangle is important? Okay, good. We see you now.
Thank you. Okay. If you go back to my lesson 1, did I show you this practice? You have to be able to fold the stroke like that. And you just let's count how many this stroke in this painting, okay? Let's do this. Let me just share the screen again. I'm not going to paint long, so I just paint on this this painting. Let me see, which painting is this? Okay. All right, let's enlarge this so I can draw this here. Where's that painting? Oh, I wasn't looking at this one. I think it's a different one. I was looking at less known one, but it's one of this line. Yeah, we can see some other examples of this. Yeah, this is probably another artist. I see a different name. It's after Sesshu, but it's not Sesshu. Yeah, this is a lesser. Well, I think it's a good one myself. It's an authentic one, but it's not signed. Yeah. Let me see. The one I think give us most clue is where you practice, right? Oops, I think I didn't get this in this folder. Let me see, where's that? Sorry, I got lost. Oh, here we go, this one. How do I do this? Okay. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. This is the stroke, right? If you count how many this stroke, I don't know if you are familiar with this already through this class. Here, right? This kind of stroke. It's all like triangles, all this, right? And just triangles. I don't even have to look at it. My muscle memory does the work. I don't even think about it. I just think the Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha. You know, just Namo Amitabha. Every time you do this, you just sing. You just try to put us a name. It's just repeating, right? Understand?
Mm-hmm.
So this is your practice, yeah. And then you, when you go to pen, you just apply that. So you draw a rock, you just do a triangle, and then you draw a house, a building, you do a triangle, and most importantly, the figure. How do you draw a figure? Do you notice that? How did he draw the figure? Let me enlarge that for you. Okay, let's see. So today's lesson is the triangle stroke. If you can get that done, you should get 90% of the strokes. And then besides that is the horizontal and vertical. That's all. Look at this. Okay. Look at this. See two triangles. This is a little distorted. I think I have a better picture. So the figure is like this. Let me draw this. This is little. That's the first figure, and this is the second. It's just like writing a Chinese character 人, of people, you know. And you can draw this like that. It's just like a, yeah. So okay, how do you draw this this boat? A triangle. Here's the triangle, right? And you can see the triangular shapes here, something like that. This, just continue that. Yeah, something like that. So this angular. Oh, here. Oh, sorry, this one. This one, right? This building. Something like that. My mouse is difficult to do. Oops, this one, just like this, yeah. And then you do that. So, and this is strokes. I showed you how to do this strokes, right? The river bank before. So we can learn that. This is a tip center, tip, like you hold the brush straight. It's a very classical. Actually, I did it maybe a little different. It looks like he hold the brush more at a vertical position. Yeah, this is a little different. So you can hold the brush this way. When Li Tang, the artist who did the the X-cut monumental landscape, remember the lesson we did a large landscape. His X-cut is like this short, not very long like that. Sesshu become more like lines, yeah, just like he does something like just like a T shape, or L-shaped something, you know, everywhere. So he would just do some stones, you know, just like that, and then just add some short lines to represent a kick. I mentioned you have to restrain the power. So if you control the brush well, you will not lose the, you will not fail like a dancer. You know, you lose gravity. So the line, every stroke have a movement of gravity, or you have to feel the brush tip constantly. So it's on the side or in the middle. Even you have a fat stroke, you need to feel the where the brush tip is. So you can end the stroke to indicate the movement. The tip usually is the last to either hide or, you know, exposed, to last to leave the paper. In the class we are going to teach next Tuesday, yeah, we'll do a lot of calligraphy strokes on the leaves, right? That's basically calligraphy stroke. Yeah. So practice calligraphy is very important with this kind of this kind of painting. So he has a good, you know, nail head brush stroke, or a teardrop, nail head, teardrop. Teardrop is actually pressing down like that. Nail head, right? But if you go fast, you know, you may not notice the head. But if you don't have a head, you kind of, yeah, that's what we call weak. See, this is bad. Every stroke should have a very implicit start. So now we go back to the line quality, or the issue of literati painters emphasize on calligraphy. I think basically, if you warm up every time you do a little calligraphy, it should help. So you just practice calligraphy, like a Victoria's class will help. Yeah, and if you can do calligraphy, you have precise control of your brush, then you can get anything done easily with this this kind of strokes. You know, like the tree basically is the vertical stroke of calligraphy. And we talked about the curved lines like this, you know, when we did the water. That's also good to practice. So some curved lines like the water. With the tree, yeah, basically, especially this kind of Southern Song style, you just do the stroke with the tip concealed stroke. So that's okay. The rock on the first day is very important. Let's just see this painting hand right here. It's not much, but just a rock, right? Let's see. Can you see my reference here? Okay, this one is pretty abstract. Let's do that. Now, basically just it's rock, right, on the bottom of the bottom half, maybe 1/4, and then a black, what we call bonus bone, but it still have this bone, but because the stroke is expanded, so it looks like a bonus, but it's still, you draw like the same as this one. And then this is not difficult. Zen painting is not really about skill. It's about the mood. Kind of. So you already have this skill, I think, from this class. So you just need to to keep practicing the same stroke over and over again until you feel comfortable with the brush and the paper and the media. So when I try to copy exactly, it's kind of hard, because if it's really, sometimes I just close my eyes, but you have to follow the basic basics, like this one. Let me see what is supposed to be on top. Oh, some trees. Okay, yeah, I have a detail on that one, I think. But I don't like the middle stroke, but that makes me stare at it. Let me just do this. So just like in the middle, and then there's cliff on top, and some trees, and some old trunk, and maybe a few roof on top of the hill. This is semi-size, I think, paper, or size, semi-size. Yeah. So then just wash the. Okay. Okay. I try not to wash the brush. That's a kind of challenge. Splash ink. And just put lots of water. Let the water do the work for you. And leave some bits of dry. So that's about it. There's some buildings on this bank. I need to let it dry. So this is sized paper, semi-sized paper. Yeah, that's a semi-sized paper right here. You can make the ink lighter by blotting, of course, if you want, or just more water from the outside. This is football style landscape. Just add water to the dry broken stroke. And the water may take a while to replace the ink. It takes maybe half hours to dry, depends on your climate. So this is we're talking about the contemporary style newer football shoe, because I'm going to teach a private lesson on that soon. That's why I'm start thinking about this. So it's all about management of water. On the sides, the paper, the dryness is kept, so that's good to have some dry brush strokes and spots of whiteness. That's why we use semi-size or size. Then you can kind of move the moisture. Use a two-brush technique or use this kind of pouring water technique. I think he did that with this kind of painting with a lot of water. Yeah, this is a painting on unsized paper, I think. Yeah, broken ink technique. But this one looks more like double load. I'm not sure. Yeah, basically, I think it's not double load. This it's a breaking ink. Breaking ink means the light break dark, dark break light, either way. So you don't blend the ink on the brush. You don't break it on the brush, as most contemporary book will teach you to load the brush with light and then dark, and try to do that. Then you don't really get it. So this one is more like a light first and then dark. Yeah. So you can put just randomly some water or light ink on the paper first before you, let's see. So this is sized paper, right? Unsized paper, let me just put it aside. Unsized paper, I got some water here already. You can draw with some water or light ink. Okay, and you can leave bits of white unpainted paper. Okay, let's see if you can see my screen. All right, so this is basically just the water, and now use a dark ink brush and to paint on the dry part, and then touch the light part a little bit, because there are dry spots in between. So this is where I put the trunk, so you will not bleed that much. This is called breaking ink, right? And this is the, okay, here we have the stones, the borders, and the bank in the foreground. Okay, that's and just the same kind of stroke, but because of the paper, the magic of this rice paper create all the effect. Uncontrollable, but it's a kind of expected accident effect. You can control the focal point, maybe more dry here. You don't want any water in this area. So that's then here you got more mist, and then just I got too much water maybe. You can use a little bit glue, maybe. On this paper, I can control the bleeding a little bit with the peach sap glue. I'm not sure if this artist does that, but you can use peach sap. So this would would not bleed that much. See. So I use peach sap on this one, and that is. Let's see. Distant mountain, lighter. Okay, the distant mountain is very light. Got some greens, that's okay. Dry brush on wet, right? Sometimes I prefer wet because it's more it just does the work does the work itself. The paper does the work for me. I don't have to do anything. If you work on sized paper, everything is controlled by the artist. Yeah, you need to learn how to draw the buildings with a bone stroke. It means a tip concealed, like this flag pole here. Bone stroke, right? This is, and also the branches. You need to make nice strokes of that. Classic paintings are based on stroke, the calligraphy stroke. Yeah. So the boat, remember how we do the boat in triangle? Not triangle, but just the horizontal teardrop stroke to do the boat. Just like pressing gradually, and then you can put another line under it if you like. I'm not sure what he did this one. It looked like no body there, just a shelter. And maybe we can put it on top here, and then a poet, a triangle shape there. Let me. Oh, I think it's out of focus. Okay, can you see that? Yeah. Yeah, that's on my unsized paper. You can start to think about rules when you have a problem. I don't think there's a problem, but if we look at this painting, the original, it has two dots exactly the same, like the eyes of a crab. Doesn't matter in Zen painting, just leave it. It shows the frankness of the artist, that careless, mindless kind of Zen mind is to put down, let it go. Okay. So yeah, you do have to learn this by copy. So the next class will certainly do more copies of masters. It will not repeat the same painting we did, but we will have different paintings for same artist or different artists. Like the 4 masters of each dynasty, we should study all of them. So maybe we'll go back to Song Dynasty when we start, and I'll certainly extend the period we cover into the late period China, because basically they are copyists. They're what we call the antiquarianism. They just try to reproduce the ancient masters instead of going to nature to paint directly from nature. So it's post-history. Some artists, some art historian call them. The history already been created by the Song and the Yuan dynasties, and the Sesshu, another peak in Japan, have created the history for the Japanese ink painting. So these are the sources we covered in this series. And next class we'll see how they have framed the later development and how the individual artists have created their own style from the same principle. So the principles we learn in this class by no means will hinder you from creating your own style. On the other, by contrary, it will help you, actually will help you to create your own style after you learn the principles. The same scientist who said accumulation of knowledge and simplification of knowledge is wisdom, he also said this: a good teacher knows the principles, and a good pupil knows the exceptions. I hope you are all good students. Okay, so I just have to teach you the rules. In the next class, yeah, we'll see you again, I hope.
Yes. Henry, thank you very much. Very interesting. And I do think that this Zen painting is harder than anything else. It's really hard. But I thank you, and I'll see you next week for sure.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that-
See you next week.
Okay. Yeah. If you have any questions, just keep asking. I'll be here to answer any questions regarding to future class or with this class and about the online class, whatever. While I'm doing some more subconsciously work, you can still watching. If you're waiting for your chance to ask questions, yeah.
Henry, Charlene.
Charlie, yeah.
One of my questions is when you're mimicking an artist in the signature, does that go before the title, or does that go after the title, or does it matter?
Good question. I think the principle is that if you have a title, it should come first.
Uh-huh.
If you, but you can also have this sentence that copy Sesshu's title of the painting, right? So it's always as long as the grammar looks logical, you can do anything.
Okay.
You can say you copy Sesshu's broken ink landscape. So if you think that actually he doesn't have the title for this painting, but let me write that. For example, what we will write. I think the easiest is to just copy his signature placement, like on the lower hand, lower right hand. That's where he signed, right? But if you write on this side, you can write long and then put a seal on this side. So let me see if I can. So let's say this is a, okay, Fang, mimicking, Fang, Xuezhou means Sesshu. This is Sesshu. And then you put the title. Yeah, I think you can also do title and Fang Xuezhou. I think either way. So but if this is the original title, you can say, But this is not a title, but this is the label they put on this in the museum, by the museum. So it's called the Po Mo Sansui Hypoc Mo Hypoku. Sansui landscape. 仿雪州 mimicking 雪州 Hypoc landscape, which is the name of this painting. This is how they call it. And then I just put okay, yeah, a year maybe. I forgot which. I just put the common era.
What is meant by common era?
we call common era because we think that's yeah, just equals to the Western year.
All right.
In history, they call it common era. I think that's just for convenience of history recording. They call instead of they use CE, right, instead of AC, after Christ. Someone can tell. So this year of 2020 is common era. This brush is so dry. Yeah, then I put a seal. Okay, let me see. I'll put it on top of my name because it's too close to the boat. Yeah. Just mimicking Sesshu's Hypoc landscape, 2000, year 2000, Henry. And I can put another seal on this corner later, if you like. Let me answer other questions if you have while I'm doing this this study. Yeah.
Henry, I wanted to know if it is an, I've seen it say either mimic Shagway or Sesshu or after Sesshu or unknown artist. How do you represent those?
Mimicking means you don't copy exactly. You paint without looking at the original, maybe, but you paint in the style of the artist. Because there's a Radish tradition that you always say you're mimicking somebody. So even you created your own, you can still say this is a mimic. It will increase the value. You just show that you are not you're educated. You know what the source is. Even though you're creating your own, you can still say in someone's style. That actually is more advanced kind of forgery, like Jiang Naqian would do. He would paint Shitao, an artist in late Imperial China, in Qing Dynasty, with no reference, out of his mind, because he copied so much. So he has entered. Shitao has he became Shitao, just like he playing 石头. You can paint, like the same stroke of Sesshu. That's called mimicking. After means more like a copy of the original, at least loyal to the original somehow.
How do you write it? How do you write it?
After?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good question.
I've seen that on some of Sesshu's paintings where he would have his signature and then
Yeah,
under,
we have several words like Lin, Mo, Lin, Mo, Fang. Lin is to just like you write calligraphy with a copybook in front of you. That's called Lin. Mo means you trace it first. You have an outline traced. And Fang means mimic.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's 3 different words. Let me write this for you. So there are 3 words you can use. Lin is to copy with the original in front of you. So you're looking at the original, just like because we usually say 临贴. 贴 means the copybook. Okay, that's for calligraphy. It's definitely 临. If you copy someone's calligraphy, you always use this. This is for copybook. Okay, and then more. More means to trace, kind of. To so you have like a outlined something, and then you fill in. That's a little more accurate than this first method. And then after the first 2, you can do it on your own in the style mimicking. That's a Fang. Fang means actually Fang could also cover all. So this is a more general term. But if you want to make distinction, this is more like not exactly the same. Maybe more Fang. Yeah, the more Fang is a contemporary copy. A copy means what's that? Duplicate, copy.
What is the word more? How do you write that?
More.
More. Yeah.
More?
What is
Yeah.
that? How do you spell it? More. Okay. More. Okay.
Second tone. Yeah. More. Second tone. Yeah. The sound is on top like a more, and then this is a hand. It has to do with hand radical. Yeah, that's to copy. Basically, it means to copy. This is to copy. This is a copy by looking at it. This is a copy exactly. And Fang means to mimic. This is Fang. Fang. F-A-N-G, I think. Mimic. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Henry, can you give us more description of your next class? What's this and what we are going to learn?
For next class, yeah. As I mentioned, we're going to continue the because there's a few more lectures by Professor James Cahill about late imperial China. We can use that as a historical background. Basically, I would do more practice. I think that's what you want, but since you have got the knowledge, you'll make me easier just to lead you to practice more. So basically, we'll copy 1 or 2 paintings each class. Yeah, that's basically based on the Mustard Seed Garden menu as you know, the style guide, and then I prefer to do real paintings because we have the privilege, I mean the convenience of the modern time, because in Sesshu's time, when he went to China, he had to copy all these fans or, you know, paintings he had seen by hand. Yeah, we have to, it will not become you only, you know, because your knowledge, part of your knowledge or skill, if you don't copy it. So you need to copy the, you know, more masters of various period and or different works by the same artists we have studied, if you like.
So we just go to Blue Art.
Blue Hand Arts, yeah, there's a link. I already sent you last night, right?
Okay,
I
I'll
sent
take
you
a
a
look.
link last night.
Yes.
Yeah, you can follow that link. I mentioned, yeah, I have the description, modified the description there, just a continuation of this class, not repeating, promised, yeah.
Okay.
But if you're new, if someone have never joined the class, there's no problem. You know, each class is a fresh beginning of considered as a fresh beginning for those who have not taken the class before. You can also join. So yeah.
Okay,
You
Henry,
can
it's
also
my painting.
watch the recordings in the online class as preparation if you like to review those. It's a good time to review the old while you learn the new. So you kind of build up, you're always rotating it, you know. Like you don't stick on orchid, just on orchid or bamboo. You go like a circle, you do some other flowers and then go back to bamboo. Even landscape will help you with your, you know, your flowers. The flowers also help you with the landscape. So you're just rotating, yeah.
Thank
They're all
you.
correlated to in Chinese painting. It's different, like Western painting. Every time you paint a different scenery. In this, you apply the same principle, a Dao. So I teach more like the Dao, not only the skill. Okay. So I will try to explain why and the variations of that. Not ask you to copy exactly my stroke or the master stroke. If you understand it, you can yeah, just like this painting here. The way is yin and yang, 2 elements, dark and light, applied with 2 brush. One is the stiff brush, maybe one is the soft brush. You can you know. And can you see that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So if I just show you how to do it without explaining this, you can easily make mistakes. Okay, so when you apply the dark, you're not supposed to gradate it. You just give me dead dark. But before it gets dry, you start to break it. That's called breaking ink. Yeah. So that's give you all the variations. So you paint wet into wet. In here, you break the on the right side, you break into the wet. See, that's how I get it. Yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, this is a scenery. These are all very classical scenery of painting and music. This is called the fisherman and wood gatherer. Fisherman's fisherman's boat is here. This is a boat. Even it looks like a rock. You have to understand this. This is a boat, right? And you can, if it's not, you can put a rock there and with some net, something. It's a fishing, or fishing pole, something like that. That makes it clear, right? So this is a classical scenery of a wood gatherer and the fisherman. This talk. Ideal life of the literati. Their reclusion life. Yeah.
Want to take a look of mine?
Let me see your painting.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me see.
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, I can see it. Huang. Yeah, let me enlarge it. Let me enlarge it.
Maybe I better send it to you. I just posted it.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to post it.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed the composition is much better. The only thing I immediately noticed is the left corner is too heavy. It kind of shifted the weight to the left. Yeah, you can see this rock.
This corner.
Yeah, this should not be there. On the original, you see there's no. It's not so heavy on the left, right? So that changed the balance. Let me see, where's that painting? Okay, yeah, we're supposed to have that corner. Yeah, this is the signature part place. So this left corner.
So you mean here, right? This corner.
Let me mark it so you can see. Yeah. Let me see your painting here. Right. This left stone is too large and too solid. Too solid. Yeah. The upper part is good. The upper part. So some parts, just like the basic of the stone, is the most difficult part for us. Yeah. So this stone is too. Notice the size of that, the rock size of it. See this. Oh, you don't see that corner. See, the emphasis is on the right. So notice this diagonal. So trees going to this hotel, and then to this person, right? So this is there's a lot of going on here along this diagonal half. This part should leave it soft, avoid. Yeah, so your rock should stop in the middle, not much to the right. I almost say that this is the right hand corner painting. It's not about left hand side. But yeah, it's kind of subtle. So it's really have a lot to do with where you don't want to paint, where you want to leave it empty. So
thank you. I just thought I will try some triangle. So I just put
yeah, I said your strokes are good. Yeah. But this paintings really have to do with the wholeness of it. Yeah, it has not much to do with techniques. The composition is 100%. Everything is composition. Yeah, just think about the whole when you do any stroke. Yeah, look at the whole painting when you do before you do every stroke. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me see. Anybody else? I want to. Okay. Let's see.
And this one?
Okay, let me see.
Is this a tray? I don't know exactly what I'm painting.
Okay, let me show you the details on that. Yeah, if you're not sure, you better find a good reference. I do have a reference on that top part, I believe. Oh, this one, yes, yeah. This is the top part of that. Oh, no, not,
No,
maybe not.
it's a stone in the bottom. I think it's a
It's
tree.
similar to this. I think it's similar to this, this painting, but this is a different leaf. I think, I thought it was that. Let me see if that, okay. Yeah, what I did was some houses on top, just the same idea, same. Look at my, if you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see mine?
Yes, I can see yours.
Okay. Yeah, I just put some houses and trees in front of that. Maybe some behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
you
a
have
mountain,
to,
right? It's
you
a
have to
stone and
define it.
mountain. Mhm.
You have to add some human presence.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's yours is too abstract. You have to add some civilization, some just make it livable. We call it a landscape have to be good to watch, to travel, to walk, to watch, and to live, to stay.
Okay, so what you're painting there is basically in your mind, you imagine a stone in front and some mountains and some trees and a house, right? That's what your imagination.
Yeah, I think this painting all have to do with the little fan. I think his inspiration is all from the copy of Yi Jian's fan painting. Let me see. Let me close this. Okay. Yeah, look at all his studies and you'll understand. Yeah, this is the original. I think we should do this one. Maybe this is the first in his. He got this in China, I believe. So this one here is the original idea of this series, the whole series. So he will do this this giant rock. Okay. And just put a rock under it, I think, and then some foot. And here is the cliff. Yeah. The cliff, and then just complete that. Dry brush, and then use a little light drier brush. See, this is broken brush, almost like a contemporary style Fubashi painting. He must have seen this in Japan. His painting, almost like Fubashi painting. Okay, and then now we do the top of the hill is this buildings. It doesn't matter if it smears, just let it be. So you just paint the roof, a few rooftops, and then some trees on top of the hill, the cliff. Now there's a sign, a flag. Oh, my flag is too large. Doesn't matter. I just want to show you what that is. It's not an electric or TV antenna. It's okay, let me mute you guys so that people can still see me. Okay, so I'm copying this fan face of each. Muchi's not Muchi. Yi Jian, monk Yi Jian's original with Sesshu copied this in China, I believe. That's his inspiration of the whole series of this what we call the cliff over river bank with a distant, misty mountains. Breaking ink means to paint wet into wet. Yeah. So it doesn't matter really the ink effect. You cannot really reproduce these, but the stroke is what we try to learn. It's horizontal, triangle, and some X-cut strokes for that. And this boat is very calligraphic. So just use the tip of the brush to start, and then gradually push. We call this teardrop in our class. Something like that. You can repeat if it's not enough, but better not. Better not. Low profile figure. Yeah. When I try to repeat, I lose the, I didn't abandon the what they call the zhi, the deliberation or something. You try to, the hold. So you have to really give up the hold on anything. Just open the possibilities. Keep the possibilities open. Okay. Yeah, that's the original idea of this. So you always paint the cliff with house on top with trees. So even though you do the abstract one, the most abstract one, that is not a good copy to study, because that becomes this one is very abstract. This one is probably the only one I would suggest. This is a snow scene, become a snow scene, but the same idea, because the snow covers a lot of details. And just do like this zigzag shape, and then just some zigzag like that. And yeah, actually this is the slope. So I lost my heights. That's there. It should be cliff. It should be a cliff, and then the river.
Yeah,
This
for the Zen painting, if
Uh-huh.
at the beginning you can tell us at least what the artist's imagination is, then I think that is helping. I know it's not a realism, but you must imagine
that's
something,
right.
right?
The Zen, Zen painting is very not expression, but is to paint the just the ordinary everyday life. It could be not something like you will see in a postcard, but it's the manner, it's the attitude you do things. When asked what's the enlightenment, what's Zen, the patriarch just pointing to the cypress tree in front of the hall, is saying, 庭前朴素之子. You remember those coin, the nuts from the pine tree, And we keep asking, what's Zen? You didn't answer my question, master. He repeated the answer. Look at the tree in front of the hall. So so you just have to live at the moment. Yeah, that's the idea of Zen. So you don't stop questioning, stop questioning, and then pay attention to what around you. That's that kind of thing. Is Zen. Zen make you aware of your Buddha already in you. The enlightenment is not achieved by questioning and pondering, but by meditation, by stop questioning, I think. So that's this is semi-sized paper. So just the white represent the snow in this case. You see the snow? That's the. So when I do research of artists, I find all his paintings as many as I can, and then study the variables, and not you understand the vocabulary, something is variable, something as consistent. The consistent is the principle, the principle of dark and light. The dark and the light. The dark is on the roof, on this tree trunk, the dry winter tree. I lost the white around this tree. That's not working. So I should leave more white around the tree, indicate the snow in this case. Anyway, this is my first copy. So every time when I caught, I missed something, next time I try to correct that. So you accumulate this kind of experience through repeating. So very important to repeat this kind of practice. Yeah, it's just like practicing a piece of music. It becomes your second nature when you reach that point. You have muscle memory. You just do this automatically, so you don't have to trace it. You just just like a grass style calligraphy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so any other paintings we have here? Daisy, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
Right.
Daisy, you did very good on the cabin, the modern cabin. Very, very good. I like that.
Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah, everybody did very good on that. Those who tried on the evening painting. I see also Charlene did that, got 5, and then Hugh got 5. Almost everybody. Ping also, right? So that's a good assignment. I mean, a good result for that assignment. I was very happy. So I hope I will do more class like that in the future, so you can get more 5-star homeworks. Okay.
Henry,
Yeah.
any preparation that I need to, or materials that I need to have on hand for the flower class on Tuesday? I don't know if anyone.
Good question. I have a kind of warm-up training class the day before that. I can answer your question right now. Yeah, I would use the semi-sized or sized paper for the best result. So if you have sized paper without or with shimming the mica is fine, I think. I also tried on mulberry paper. It should also work if you don't have that. So just
stone-
stay with what you have, should be fine. The only thing may not work is the unsized paper, but I will also try that. So for that class, we basically learn the style, more of the stroke, you know, the separate of dark and light when you paint the leaves. This is a unsized paper. I'm not sure if I can do that, but basically you combine dark and light. When you do a leaf like this, you kind of, so dark and light, that indicates the two sides of, you know, the leaf. That's the back side, the front side. So if you could do this, you would do most part of the painting. The rest is not very difficult. It's like a watercolor. When you do the flowers, you apply color in two steps. One is the transparent color, then the opaque color of water, sometimes to dripping to create that kind of hard edge effect. So that's what it is. But you can also, like the white flowers, you don't use white. You don't have to use white. So it's all. Any particular suggestions? I try to do live flower with reference to we have jasmines blooming in our garden. That's why I'm going to do jasmine, which is number 2, page number 2 in the book. Did you download the book? Did you buy the book from Blue Heron?
The download, right?
Yeah, it's a download. I would send you the page I'm working on, maybe, you know, for everybody if they don't have it. So if you don't have it, you at least you will have page for that day, no problem. But the book is has all the other, you know, all the flowers. So basically, I would do the maybe a simple one like a jasmine, or I was thinking the other one is magnolia, southern magnolia. It's just like this kind of this is more like jasmine flowers. We can also do some pink flowers maybe. I think we will try to do more than one. Yeah, so basically it's a painting along. So you can use the sized paper. Let me see. This is unsized. What's this? This is unsized. I think the size, I don't have size paper, semi-size. This is semi-size. Let's see how semi-size works. So semi-size. Yeah, size the paper works the best. Let me see. This is same sized paper, I think. Yeah, this is same size paper. See, doesn't smear. Then I can drip water to it or drip color to it to make it to create that kind of what do we call this little? I call it a seam line, or you might call it stain border. No, I don't know what's the term for that. So that will create a hard edge, a line along the contour, which instead of you do the fine line, it's actually create the fine line with the water. That's the idea of this kind of bonus style of painting. So you, yeah, and on the trunk you create a stroke, and then you put color in it. You can use any color like a brown or green. That's the idea of bonus painting. Yeah, and bonus painting separate the light dark side of the leaf. So it has a lot to do with the stroke, and this I will show you all the directions of the leaf. Like this one you can practice. This one is the hardest. And this one, the one I just did, and that one, and this one, the easiest one is like the front view one. Just 2 strokes, like this, yeah. 1, 2. This front, the side view like this. Then this, what do I call this? This is like the leaf bending backwards. Side view, but yeah, that's I don't have what is the perspective might call? Anybody can. This is side stroke, side view, front view, and this is like it's foreshortened view, maybe. That's the kind of stroke you can practice on before the class. It will help you with all the plants. No matter what plant, it's this kind of fundamental strokes. Okay, and then the flower petals are not very difficult. Usually just round, you know, just oval shape or pointed or something like that. But always 2 strokes to make a circular ones. 2 strokes to make a. But the leaves is most difficult part for flower painting. So yeah. So this is the paper I'm going to use, I think, to begin with at least. So this will not smear, so you can play with the dripping technique.
Is that the Stonebridge paper you're using?
This is sized paper without mica. Yeah, so this is the sized paper without mica. So you can, if you want to, you can see if the paper smears, is unsized. This is complete size. See, does not smear, right? So I can paint slowly, and then I can put more color to it, wet into wet, without destroying the shape. See, this is the. I can make it into a different color, but still the same shape. That's the advantage of this. It's almost like Gombi painting without outline. So this is called bonus style. Yeah.
Is it a little bit like terashikomi?
Yeah, it is terashikomi. Yeah, it is terashikomi. Yeah. In Japanese, they call it terashikomi. Actually, this school of painting, Cantonese school, it was influenced by Japanese terashikomi technique, but later they also influenced by the Western watercolor. So it's kind of hard to tell which. The difference between them and the Japanese is they are not so decorative. They emphasize on painting from real flowers, but they are not really realistic. So it's highly stylized. Some contemporary artists very popular, like Jia Xiang belongs to this school. You know, the birds with angry looking, rugged birds, right? Yeah, that's the kind of style, his style. Yeah, but this artist I like, Li Yewu. He's the second generation, I think, second generation of Cantonese school. He learned from the founder directly, Junian. I would show you the connection. So he created this style that I think makes his painting very elegant, not so vibrant, you know, like the other later development in Cantonese school. So he has this kind of literary mentality, I think. And he died before reached 40s, very unfortunate. Nobody knows him. I own its original. I bought from an auction house 2 years ago, and nobody, I forgot the date of the auction until it was after, and nobody bid it. So I got the bottom price for that. That's ridiculous, yeah. I think his painting should be in the museum. So someday I will give it to a museum, maybe. Anyway, if no more questions, I'll let you go, and I'll see you on either next Tuesday or next Thursday. It's starting a new class. Okay.
Henry, I have a question. Does the Tuesday is online class also?
Tuesday after your calligraphy class.
Yes.
Are you in the calligraphy class?
No, I just hear that there's a lady say that I have a question on Tuesday class about the flowers.
Oh, Tuesday is a workshop, online workshop.
Oh, workshop. Okay.
Yeah, you can find that in the workshop
in
section
YouTube?
of Blue Heron Arts. You can register that if you like. Tuesday is on boneless style. Let me show you the.
Oh, okay.
Let me show you the painting style.
Yeah.
Okay. See where it is. Yeah, style. It's a slow. Okay, the workshop and the classes. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this one. And his name. We have a book. You can buy an ebook from the website. Let me share with you this information here. So this painting here, I borrowed from another class. I'm sorry, I have to go back. Okay. Yeah, this is my copy of his. Where is it? Oops. I got lost. This is the ebook. Maybe this is easier to see. Yeah, this is the cover. This is the. Let me show you. Okay, can you see it? Yeah, these are the painting style.
Okay.
Yeah, of this. It was the first edition I bought in '83. I think it's already out of print, but I haven't. I've copied every piece many times. What I did was I used greeting cards. I copied every one of them many times, and I sold them in street fairs. in Seattle, Bellevue, I enrolled in Arts Pacific Northwest Art Crafts Fair. Is one of the top shows in Seattle with this artist cards. And I sold like $20 per card, something like that. But that was done the first 2 years, maybe 1989. Yeah. So since then, I have been doing a lot of projects. The most recent one is the elephant. Elephant, you remember did you see the elephant painting I did? It was done with his style with acrylic on a giant sculpture, and I painted in his style with the cherry blossoms. So you can do a lot of things with that. I can, yeah. So not just use paper and watercolor. You can do oil, acrylic, whatever. It's a style, just a different strokes and things like that. Let me see what's the. I want to show you the elephant I did. Yeah, here. Yeah, some studies I did. Early studies. I want to show the finished work. It took me 3 months to develop this. From design to finish, it took me this year. I spent a lot of time on this, but it turned out very nice. Let me show you. The finished work is this one. So you can take a look of this. Can you see the style of this artist at work?
Yes, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Notice the first thing you notice is the very thin stroke on these branches.
Yeah.
That's his style. Yeah, but I do have some trunk, but that's also his style. He has some trunk. Very fine, but very bony. Very bony.
Henry, how did you make that elephant?
The elephant comes by somebody else. The Elephant Parade is the organization. They made this 80 years ago. Yeah, they don't have it anymore. This is the last one. The last one. They auctioned it in Dana Point. If you go to Dana Point Art Gallery, you'll find some leftovers there. Some, yeah. But mine was sold. The first one was apricot, the same style. This couple, a mixed couple, one the gentleman is the Japanese heritage. They like the cherry blossoms, and they want to have the falling leaves all over, in the sky and on the floor. So I did all that. Let me show you the details, maybe. Yeah, and they want the hummingbirds. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I just use acrylic. It's acrylic. Yeah, I did this family, the baby nest, feeding mother hummingbird feeding babies. Yeah, this is. So, yeah, if you like, I can show you how to do this cherry blossom. Yeah, that's. Until next Tuesday. Yeah.
I love it on the elephant.
Yeah, I do have a small one. Yeah, I think you can still get the small one online. Just go to Elephant Parade. You can get the small one. They send you everything, including the paint and the brushes, and you can paint them. I think they also sell my duplicate there. elephantparade.org or something. Elephant Parade is the organization. Yeah. I try to, you know, to make something unfinished, so it's not overdo, something like that. They liked it because, yeah, it's not like dripping. When I see something nice like this, oh, I want to keep it. So I keep the dripping untouched. So that's something nice. So I just do some legs, lot of unpainted space, but they want a background instead of white. The original one I did was a white background. Yeah, this one is colored, rainbow kind of colored. Lots of, yeah, you can see the small one on at the bottom. This image is the original design, and I did some, one in Van Gogh style, Impression style, one in Chinese style studies. On the right side, the small prototypes, and they choose the Chinese one. Yeah, and that turned out pretty good. See how big it is?
Wow, it's big.
Yeah.
That's really, really neat.
Yeah. So this is in the same. Yeah, you can see some studies on the table here. I did with oil and acrylic. Yeah, some studies of that. I do have the paintings, but I don't have time to show you all. I think it's a very long project. Yeah, it takes 80 years basically. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll see you next week. Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Henry.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Henry. Bye-bye.
Bye bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.